Hello again, it's Deadliest Art here. I was just thinking about a few things in regards to Floyd Mayweather in my last video. I made mention of Mayweather's possible opponents in the future, which could possibly be Canelo Alvarez or Sergio Martinez, and which would be the safer and more lucrative fight opposed to the more dangerous, but which is also a lucrative fight. I really sat down and really took a moment to analyze both fighters and what both men bring to the table. Both men I'm referring to are Canelo Alvarez and Sergio Martinez. Now, I think the first question that comes to mind is, which fight is the most lucrative? Regardless of popular opinion, some of you may believe it's Sergio Martinez just based on the fact that he's the middleweight champion of the world. However, despite Sergio being the middleweight champion, you also have Canelo Alvarez, who is a hot commodity coming out of Mexico. So when you, on paper, you see Canelo, the type of fan base he brings, how he can headline a card in Mexico and pretty much sell out small arenas, and what have you, down south. He is definitely the more expensive fighter on paper. He has the potential to bring in more fans and more money than Oscar De La Hoya. Now, I'm talking about Latino fighters here now. I'm not talking about Pacquiao or anyone other than that. I'm talking about outside of Pacquiao. Canelo Alvarez, is definitely the one that's going to be selling that paper. And if he's matched up against Mayweather, that only doubles, possibly triples the profit. Not to mention the seating, especially at the MGM Grand. They're going to sell like crazy. The seats will be completely filled with a pro Canelo fan base. Now, which is the safest fight? I thought Sergio Martinez is definitely the safer fight. Just how the way Canelo Alvarez handled Joselito Lopez. Sure, Joselito was definitely the smaller man, but just how Canelo jumped in on Joselito and just told him who the boss definitely was. He simply manhandled that guy. And I honestly believe that, and I made mention to this in my last video also, that it doesn't matter who was in the ring with him. He would have landed vicious shots on whoever that unlucky opponent might have been. He is not a flash in the pan. He is not a one-trick pony. Canelo Alvarez is the real deal. Now, am I a fan of Canelo? Sure, I'm a fan as being a boxing fan myself, and somewhat of a critic. I would say that yes, for the good of the sport, I am a fan of Canelo. However, you won't see me praising Canelo or any of his achievements until he actually does something big, like beat Mayweather or something of that nature. He is definitely viable. He is on Mayweather's radar. Whether or not Mayweather accepts a fight with Canelo, he's, believe it or not, on the radar. A lot of you may say that, he doesn't deserve a fight with Mayweather. What has he done at 154? Fight other opponents. Yeah, you have a point, but in this day and age of boxing, it's not necessarily about who you fight. It's about how many fans you can bring into the arena with you. Plenty of fighters have a strong fan base, but would have a terrible resume. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. is a perfect example because he's pretty much dancing his way to the ring using his father's last name. He is a Chavez, so just by association, he'll have a fan base. Canelo is another example. The guy is a freckled faced redheaded Hispanic from Mexico, who's a unique unique by looks, but has a killer instinct. The man is a terror in the ring, and just based on that, the whole region of Mexico believes that they have their own great white hope, and they believe that this man could be the next coming of De La Hoya and Mayweather combined. He brings the fan base and the technique. I'm not saying that he has better technique than Mayweather, okay? I'm going to say that again. I'm not saying Canelo has better technique than Floyd Mayweather. I'm simply saying, as for outside of Juan Manuel Marquez, who's a very technically proficient Hispanic boxer, as well as his brother Rafael, Canelo is a bomber. The dude throws heat. You can't say it any better than that. The kid throws heat, and he's young. He will only get better in time. Like a fine wine, they only get better with age. And I really fear for anyone who has to step into the ring with this guy. Most definitely. Now, the next question is, which fighter will do best for Mayweather's legacy? Once again, it's Sergio Martinez. He's the middleweight champion of the world. He just got done coming off a semi-decent win against Chavez Jr., a fight that we pretty much knew how it was going to end up anyway. We already knew the outcome. Sergio isn't so much I don't see him swarming or laying, constant pressure on Mayweather. He really likes to kind of pot shot in the way. Then when he sees an opening, he'll jump in and he'll land a couple good shots. Especially on guys who just stand there. If you give the opportunity for Martinez to hit you, he will hit you. Mainly because his opponents just stand there and they try to box him, and Martinez has the upper hand by simply bouncing around a little bit, seeing a few openings, like, really kind of like Roy Jones used to do, he kind of like Gamecock, where he would just kind of sit there and look at you and try to see what's going on and catch you with like a sneaky punch from an awkward angle, and it works too, it lands. He's very proficient with that style of boxing. But I believe that Mayweather has the style to counteract Sergio and definitely punish him. I'm saying he will knock Sergio out, because I don't see it happening. But he will definitely outpoint, maybe outpunch Sergio to where he lowers Sergio's punch output, and Mayweather's will increase with time, as he always does in his matches. And once he figures out the puzzle of Martinez, then it's easy work from here on out. I say Mayweather takes it in 12 easily. Next question would be, my last question that I thought would be, should he fight Canelo Alvarez? And I've been already answered that pretty much at my safest fight question, when I would say no. I don't think Mayweather should fight Canelo unless he believes that he has a chance of defeating him. Mayweather's getting up in age. It's only a matter of time before he steps into the ring with that one guy that's really going to tear him down and make him look old. And I just believe that Canelo could be that fighter. Even in the last fight with Cotto, Mayweather came off doing what Mayweather does best. Landed strong, high output. He put on a damn good boxing match. Was masterful. He is a technician in every sense of the word. But Cotto, when he landed, he landed when he wanted to. He threw and it hurt. You can tell by Mayweather had a knot on the side of his head from the constant pounding from Cotto, whether they were glancing shots on the glove that slipped off and hit him in the head, or they were flush shots. I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily say that any of them were flush, because I'm sure he would have been a little bit concussed post-fight. His nose was bleeding profusely, from in the mid to late rounds. But overall, Mayweather did what he had to do, and he almost got Cotto out of there. It was a damn good fight and a fair decision in my eyes. I just don't feel that Mayweather has that in him anymore to fight a young guy like Canelo. I honestly think he shouldn't fight Canelo either. It's just not a safe fight for him. Not at this point in his career. The age will take over and literally put the hands on Mayweather, so to speak. Father Time will kick Mayweather's ass the longer he does fight. I just don't want to see him go out, on a loss. Then everyone tells him, "Oh, Mayweather, you should have retired earlier. You should have retired earlier." But yet, when Mayweather tried to retire, everyone kept saying that he still had work to do. He still had work to do, and all this other hogwash. I'm comfortable with Mayweather retiring with Cotto. If he wanted to retire tomorrow, I wouldn't hold it against him. I couldn't. He did. He came in and did what he had to do, and he left the sport on top. He left the sport on top of his game, and he left the sport as one of the best, if not the best fighter of my era. And I'm 26 years old, so whoever else is watching this video, whatever you consider this era of boxing, Mayweather is the man of this era. I don't care what anyone says. You can bring up old names all you want. Mayweather is the best. The man just has it all. He has a fighting skill. He has a ring IQ. He has everything. Just like Michael Jordan in basketball. There will never be another Michael Jordan. There will be players close to him, but there will never be another Michael Jordan. Like there will never be another Floyd Mayweather. Adrian Broner might be close. Well, no. Scratch that. Let's rewind it. Adrian Broner may try and get close to Mayweather, but he'll never touch Mayweather in terms of technique and talent and IQ, counter-punching ability, and everything else. The man is a diamond. He will always be a diamond. Some of you may call him a flawed diamond because of his attitude outside of the ring, but nevertheless, the man is an absolute diamond. He's a diamond. He's flawless, and you can't defeat perfection. Well, Father Time can defeat perfection, but I'm just merely saying that Mayweather is a one-of-a-kind athlete in the sport of boxing, hands down. Yeah, so, it's in a nutshell, after watching the Canelo versus Lopez fight and seeing how dangerous of an opponent Canelo is, despite what Paulie Malignaggi says that he hasn't fought that guy yet, in some cases that is true. However, like I said before, I really don't think it would have mattered who was in there. It could be Cotto, it could have been Austin Trout, it could have been Chavez Jr., it could have been anyone at 154, and I think Canelo would have just went through him like a hot knife through butter. As cliche as the phrase is, it's true in every sense of the word. I mean, I read several reviews, watched some highlights of the Martinez-Chavez fight, and Martinez put on a damn good fight against Chavez, messed his face the hell up. And just comparing Martinez's, on the show that he put on compared to the show Canelo put on against the smaller Lopez, I just see Canelo coming out on top, 9 out of 10 times. And even if Martinez and Canelo fought themselves, I see Martinez doing quite a bit of damage to Canelo, but I just think Canelo, at the end of the day, he just has more. Mainly because I'm trying to say that he's just a younger guy, and he has more to put out there than Martinez does. Martinez is a hell of a fighter as well, but I just don't think he even comes close to where Canelo Alvarez is at right now, and he's only going to get better. But I'm eager to hear what some of you guys have to say. Agree with me, disagree with me, dislike my video, like my video, doesn't really matter. Subscribe. I will be putting more videos out in the future. That's pretty much all I have to say. I'll be back again soon. You guys take it easy. Peace.